All right, guys, in this episode of the Fit Rock Star Show, forgive my casual day today, we have the beautiful, she's sensational, she's so inspiring. She is a top level NPC competitor. She is Alison Worrell. Did I say that right? Worrell?
Right,
Oh, gosh, right on the money. How are you?
I am good. How are you? Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here and chit chat.
Oh, I'm so happy that we can finally make this work. I want to tell you that you're a very inspiring person. You know what I mean? Like, I've had times when I've been down and out, and then I see one of your posts. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to the gym. I'm going to go train because you obviously have a huge passion for the sport.
I do. And I fell in love with this sport 11 years ago, and I've never looked back. It's probably one of the best decisions I've made, and I made some better decisions since then. And we can get into my
Sure.
why and why
Sure.
11 years ago and why how I got to where I am today. But it's fun too. And I love it. And I love the people and the connections I've met and the relationships. I mean, like I was just thinking like you and I met at an expo. It's 2015, 2016, so it's been way back. You were the She-Hulk. We keep saying we're going to do the She-Hulk, mini She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to collab on
We
that
definitely
sometime.
do.
But, and obviously now since then I put on a little bit more muscle. So I really do look more like a little She-Hulk. So, it's just, I love it. And there's so much about it and the passion. I love it. I love being dedicated
Sure.
to it. Just some other things that I've, come about through the industry and just the day to day. It's awesome.
So 11 years ago, you got into it. Actually, 2014 was your first show, or no?
2015 was my first show.
2015. Okay.
But 2011 is when I joined the gym. I joined the gym the day after my 35th birthday.
Oh, wow.
I'm not ashamed to tell people that I'm 46 years old. And people don't believe me. They card me, and I'm like, you can check.
Yeah, you don't look 36 years old.
46.
46. Oh,
Yeah.
see? You don't look either. You look younger than that.
But it's funny because I went through a big weight loss transformation. And so when I was fat, I looked a lot older than I do now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
it's amazing when we get we get healthy, take care of our bodies, how much of an age difference it changes. It's anti-aging, right? So it makes us
It
look
is.
younger. I think so.
But, and at 35, I joined the gym the day after my birthday. If you can't tell, because I am sitting down, but I have achondroplasia dwarfism. So that means I've got short limbs, a normal torso, and then like some other, like the bone on my nose. We all have this curvature in our nose, but part of my spinal cord, yes, it's normal torso, but my spinal cord is curved. So with that curvature can cause a lot of nerve damage, stenosis, back issues, just lots of different things. And obviously having weight and being overweight and having that on our hips because of the weight, because of our spine being tilted or curved, it tilts our hips. So then if you have all that weight on the hips, it can cause a lot of nerve damage to your legs, to your arms, to just other, parts of the body.
Right.
And so my organs are all the same as far as inside. Everything I have as much skin as as an average size person. It's just my extremities, my nerves, and my bones are what's short. And so at the 35, I was still surgery free, which is really rare, except for adenoids and tubes in my ears when I was a kid. And being surgery free at an adult age is rare. Then I saw some friends going through surgeries where they're getting pretty much 100% fused in their back.
Wow.
Other things because of nerve problems they were having where they couldn't feel their hands, couldn't feel their feet, couldn't walk, couldn't just mobility, everything. And so I was like, ooh, I don't want that. I'm going to lose weight. I need to do something about it. So that's what made me join the gym.
Wow.
So I had no idea what I was doing when I joined the gym. I just joined the gym. I basically didn't think I could use gym equipment, didn't think I could do anything in the gym because of being 3'11". So I, was basically on the treadmill and the elliptical and doing just cardio. Finally, I decided to team up with one of the personal trainers at the gym I was at, about 4 weeks into being there, and then started working mainly like on plyometrics and mobility. And that's my big thing. When other little people come to me, they're like, where do I start? I said, just start moving. Once you start moving, then it becomes into a routine, and then you become able to do other things. So that's what kind of got me into it, was just to lose weight. And obviously losing weight, I saw my body keep changing. And then in 2014, I said, I want to compete in a year. And I gave myself a year to, like, I like my beer. I'm from Texas. I like to eat, So I knew that there was a whole lifestyle change going into competing that I would need to, put my mindset to. And that's what I did. So 2015, I started competing. I did my first few shows with a small federation, locally here in Southern California, and then did my first NPC show in 2016. And I've just completed in September my 10th show.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I want to know, though, I know you started in 2014 with the gym, right?
Yes.
Okay. Competed in 2015. What was it exactly that you said, what was it that you saw or heard that made you say, you know what, I'm going to compete?
Personally, I'm very competitive, and I'm very competitive with myself. So I wanted to just prove that regardless of my size, that I could compete. I'm competing against average size women. We're all judged on the same criteria. So then, like, my mindset became adapt, adjust, defy odds, and overcome. And that's what I like to prove every single day in life, because this world, we all have issues. For me, it's physical. I'm short. And so I just have to adapt to that. And that's what I've, obviously learned how to do. For life in general, I do praise my mother 100%, letting me be who I am. She did not restrict me from I played sports when I was growing up. I was on the swim team. I was very involved with, extracurricular activities. So she let me determine that if I could do it or not. She wasn't one of those, no, because you're little, you can't.
Right.
So I, praise my mother for that and raising me that way, because I think that helps with my, who I am today. Very confident walking into a room, if it's, me and 1,000 people or me and 2 people. So I love, that has helped. And I just wanted to challenge myself. And then once I started doing it, I got addicted to it, and I love it. Like,
is
it's so
addicting.
fun. And like, I'm very driven and very goal driven, and like, I want to hit goals. And if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it regardless if it takes me 5 years, 2 years, whatever it is. And that's just kind of, what got me into it. And then, just seeing, I love the science of the body, and like what we can do. And obviously with food, and what you can do with training, and obviously, training for me, we'll get into that, is way different than your style of training, because I have to modify a lot of things. And so it's just, I learned about the body, how my body works. We're all not the same. Like, everybody wants to, like, what do you eat? What do you do? Well, what I do and what I eat is not going to be cookie cutter for you. We're all different. It's just, we all have to fuel the car a little bit different, as I say, because, it's just how it works for my goals in my body, and, it reacts different. And even all my preps, nothing's been the same. There's been changes, because you learn from each prep. You learn from each peak week. You learn from, everything we do. Water manipulation for me is hard. Like I said, I have as much skin as an average size person. I carry a lot of water in this body, because if it's not water, it's fat in that areas. And, and everybody always wants to know, like, little people, how did you get your arms? Well, diet, training. It's not something that happens just magically. Hey, you're going to get biceps and my shoulders that you were talking about. It takes time, and I keep, growing and growing each day and year. And I love it.
Well, I can tell. I've seen you, I've seen you transform over the years. I mean, even like now, we were talking earlier prior to filming, you got these cannonball shoulders. As you're purposely moving around, see, you're showing off the lines in the shoulders there, the ripped. Now, you just competed in women's physique recently, right?
I did.
What a great video you posted on your
Thank you.
IG.
Yeah, it was fun. I did, so in May, I did the local, I hadn't done a show since 2019. I took,
Wow.
obviously, with the last couple of years,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
took some time off because I want to be like, I wanted to make sure that shows were going and not being canceled. And
Sure.
once things got back onto a normal routine, I got back into prep. So I had to re-qualify. I did a local show in May at Muscle Contest, won the overall, got my sword.
Congratulations.
So I'm excited to have the sword from Muscle Contest on my wall. And then I did North Americans. I've never done a show on the East Coast. So I wanted to go do North Americans on the East Coast. And I competed, I was like, I'm giving it my all. I did the 35, 40, 45
Right.
open. It was a lot of fun. I met some great people. It was a great show.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
And just, it was an awesome experience. And some of the, people I met and just being on the East Coast and that vibe. And I loved it. It was a great,
The East
great
Coast
time.
5 versus the West Coast 5.
There is definitely a difference.
Well, your observation versus mine. So, what's your observation of the East Coast 5? I want to hear this.
Oh, no.
I can tell you mine, but it ain't going to be pretty.
No, it was, I mean, like the show was really well put together.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes. Yeah.
Ran well.
Yeah.
I loved the girl that did my tan, my makeup. Like it was just a great week.
Sure.
And it was fun to compete and just the audience. And maybe because they didn't know Allie yet, like a lot of people, when I come out, they're like, some are taken back because of obviously
Sure.
I'm in class A because I fall under that category, but I am the shortest woman to compete in,
Wow.
NPC history. So it's not something you see every day because
Right.
everybody thinks, like my friends, they think, oh, you compete against other little people. I'm like, no, there's no other little people competing. And so I think it's just, I have to work, in the gym, I work twice as hard. I have to, manipulate things on training. And it's just, I love being on the stage. And obviously, if you see my video,
You are
see that.
beautiful on the stage.
Everybody's like, you're just like you love the stage. And I'm like, well, I love it. I did theater growing up. I love to, just perform. It's fun. And I work really hard. And that's my time to shine.
Sure.
And you know what? If I get last place, I got last place. But guess what? I won because I did my best and I did it for me. And so I'm not going to win all the shows. I know that. And I'm just going to go and give it my all and do what I need to do. And
I love your personality.
That's what I do every show.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring this up to you because I feel with my gut instinct, and it's usually never wrong. I want to see you. I'm going to throw it out there. I know you've done women's physique. Look, the suits are pretty, the prejudging, all that good stuff. But I want to bring you over to women's bodybuilding because here's why. I strongly feel like I already thought you're not a pro yet. You're an NPC competitor. Right. I really strongly feel that you can get your pro card. I'm just saying soon if you came into women's bodybuilding.
And I would be the lightweight.
Do you know how awesome that would be, though? Oh, yeah, my God.
I think it's awesome. And honestly, my coach and I, after Pittsburgh, talked, and I said, I want to move up to women's bodybuilding. I want to move over to women's bodybuilding. That's my fit. Like, that's my, where I belong. And so, next summer, that is my goal.
Wait a minute. What did you just say? That is where I belong? I love that.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And it's funny because with my body structure, obviously, I have wrists that are bowed.
Oh.
And so, like, doing some of the poses just come naturally. And so when I started playing around with the poses and doing like front double bicep, he's like, do you realize, look at what happens when you just, from your hands being open fist to closed fist, your lats and the whole spread, it changes. And it's crazy. Just little things are making my body like, he's like, we'll get you there. And so I want time. I'm not a rusher into like my next show. I want time. I want to do an off season properly. I want to put on the right muscle where I need to make the,
Sure,
make the
of course.
changes I need to do, and keep working on it. So our goal is next summer.
So you talked about some of the problems, challenges that in the training. So I'm going to ask you the $1 million question. What's in your gym bag?
What's in my gym bag? Actually, there's tools. I carry a lot of tools in my gym bag. And the other night I left it in, I have two cars, and I left it in my other car. And I was like, I feel naked. I feel like I can't do anything. But my coach is a genius, so we were able to figure it out. But in my gym bag, I have resistance bands. I have I have a few custom things that have been made for me, so it's pretty awesome. I have custom custom leather wrist straps that were made from Crown Custom belts. I have some. They're for rope climbing, but they're these like they have like loops on it, and they're nylon, so I use those sometimes for attachments for back day. I have in there obviously resistance bands. I have ankle straps because I use ankle straps for most of my leg workouts. I got some carabiners because obviously small carabiners are hard to attach some of the straps to, so I carry carabiners. I obviously have a weightlifting belt with my back being, everybody's like, why do you wear a belt when you're doing leg extensions? Because my back, with it being curved and my spine, it gives that extra support, and I have no pressure on the spine hitting and being injured. That's obviously my number one goal is not to get injured and to do it properly. But I've had people, on my videos, you don't need a belt for that. And it's like, well, you don't know the real reason. So yes, I do. Right. I feel, it gives me that extra support.
Well, I always like how people like to chime in on what you want to do, right?
Some guys arguing with me right now because I do front squats. So if you watch my videos, I obviously modify a lot. Legs is the hardest thing for me to do with normal equipment. My inseam is only 15 inches.
Wow.
So I can't even reach half the equipment just sitting there. So I modify all my legs. So for front squats, I use a cable stack. So I'll stand on a box, and I have, I recently just got a new tricep, like padded tricep pull down, but I use it reverse.
Yeah.
And I put my hands in the ends, hold it, and then I front squat off. I have my feet elevated, heels elevated, and I front squat with the cable stack. And somebody's like, why don't you do it with the dumbbell? Well, because with the cable stack, I can get about 100 pounds, whereas a dumbbell, because of my grip, holding it, maybe 20. And it's like, no, I can, this is more effective. But he's like arguing with me about the way I train. It's like, don't worry about it, buddy. I think I figured it out.
Yeah, I want to see what this guy looks like.
Yeah, right? I do look at some of those people too.
Right? It's like, boy, you never even lifted a weight in your life. Be quiet.
Right.
Cállate, llama, por favor. Anyway, that's Spanish for shut your mouth, please. So, listen, I want to let people know something. You're not one to mess with in the gym. Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot right now. I saw something where you're squatting 315, or is that 425?
315.
Jesus, I can't even squat that. You're making me look bad.
Yes.
I'm going to train legs after this.
Yeah, I've done it twice.
That's amazing.
And it's, obviously I don't like to do it I'm not going to do it when I'm in prep because my calories are low and just the food sources and everything are a little bit different than what I eat when I'm in the off season. So 2 weeks ago, I told my coach or a couple guys there too, because obviously carrying fish, I only weigh today 94 pounds.
My gosh.
So putting 315 on my back and I have to walk out obviously a little bit. There's no way I would topple over.
Sure.
So like my coach was standing behind me, and then there's always two people on the end just, for a spot. And so I was like, hold on, I said, I hadn't squat. I don't normally squat, barbell squat. So I was barbell squatting. I said, let's just keep working up. And he's like, all right, let's go to 315 again. I was like, okay. And it had been a couple of years since I'd done it. And so I was like, so I did it, and it's just like, okay, that's good.
Yeah, you
I
look like
did
you
it.
did it like a champ, like nothing. It's no problem.
So it's fun and it's a good adrenaline rush and it's not something I want to do every day. And then of course the next thing, oh, go to powerlifting. No, because I don't deadlift and I don't bench. I mean, I
Right.
could. Deadlifting, I can't
Hmm.
because I can't
Hmm.
grip the bar.
Hmm.
Um, so like I can't really pull much.
Let me
Like,
ask you something with the bar though. Don't they have specialty like skinnier bars that you can use for gripping?
well, for personal training, yes, but
Oh,
not for
yeah, right, right. Yeah, yeah,
competition.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Well,
So
maybe that's something that should be changed, I think.
yeah, so
You
I
know?
just, it's just, and I'm not like, I don't, it's
You don't
not what I
like
want
that?
to do.
Yeah.
And I honestly, like, I have some other friends that are little people that have been training and they've been doing like more CrossFit stuff and they're all injured. And I'm like, I have not been, knock on wood, I have not been injured once since I've started. And it's all about form. And I can't do a lot of jumping because I don't want the impact on my lower back.
Hmm.
Because that's where the nerves all are, is in that lower part of your spine.
Sure.
So I don't jump on trampolines. Yes, I do jump rope, but it's like I'm off the ground just a little bit. That's one of my new
Hmm.
challenges is to learn how to jump rope
Oh,
really well because I like the cardio part of it.
uh-huh.
But I really try and avoid doing any like of those CrossFit jump type
Sure.
movements. And just, somebody reached out to me recently, an LP, she's a CrossFit competitor. She's like, hey, I'm having issues. I'm going to go get an MRI and it's my lower back. And I'm like, yeah, because
Hmm.
don't do that. And she's like, I said, I don't do that. Do you see me do that? She's like, no. I said, I never have and I never will. So.
Well, you definitely train very smart. Some people train for ego, obviously, or Instagram likes.
You just said it. I train smart. I do, and everybody thinks I spend hours in the gym. Like they're like, you're there hours. I'm like, I can get a good workout in 45 minutes. And they're like, you can? And I'm like, yes.
You
And
have a. Go
I
ahead.
don't like to train with people. I like to train by myself. Just I mean, like training legs, like for me and you to train legs, your workout would be totally different than mine. So
Hmm.
it's like shoulders or arms, I could do, and chest, like some of those, I can do work out with someone on those. But, I do modify things for back. I modify obviously all my leg stuff. And it's just the setup and, what I have to do to modify sometimes, it's just can be, pain. So it's much easier just to train by myself.
You talk about resistance bands a lot. Tell me about the resistance band, how that really is valuable to you.
Yeah, I use them as attachments, like for
Okay.
cable stuff. Obviously I'll use some to move the blood around for like when
Hmm.
I'm doing shoulders.
Hmm.
I just tie it up to things. Sometimes I've been, obviously traveling in a hotel and there's not much to do, but I can come up with a workout for resistance, whatever it is. I've been involved with Kroger Foods,
Yeah.
and they have a big wellness festival every
Hmm.
year, and I've been a participant or I was a headliner, as they call it, and get to teach some fun classes to the general public and to the Kroger employees. And so I just did a 20-minute band workout, and I did upper body with just a booty band and lower body, and everybody loved it. And then I had to do it 3 times in a row
Oh
because we were
boy.
doing like a silent like it's like a silent disco, but it was for fitness.
Hmm.
It killed me. Like because I was doing movements that I normally don't do every day. So it's just like, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, the leg day you did with the 315, were you hurting the next day?
It was a little sore.
A little sore, so it didn't really affect you.
Not
Okay.
not crazy.
Okay.
I think I drink a lot of water. I think fluids are key for me, just to keep my body moving and
Hmm.
muscles, everything hydrated. Everybody thinks because I'm short, I drink like 32 ounces of water. I drink a gallon and a half a day.
That's
Like
a lot
there's
of water.
nothing. I mean, and I eat 6 times a day. Like there's nothing different on that aspect of it. Yeah, my portions might be a little bit different, my calories, but I still have, I'm like still 6 meals a day, lots of water, and I feel better. Like
How many calories do you take in? I was curious about that.
it ranges like it could be 1,500, could be
Oh,
1,800,
that's
could
not
be
too bad. For
1,000. I
contest prep?
mean, what?
For contest prep?
No, contest prep is about, I would say 12 maybe.
1,200. Well, that's still not too bad.
Yeah. And then I'm really like, I don't like, I eat basic. I eat simple. I don't go off onto these crazy things that people are like, oh, but it's prep friendly. And I'm like,
Prep
no, stick it
friendly.
simple.
Right. Well, that's smart. Again, you're feeding your body. It's, you got to take care of it. I love the fact that you're so like gun ho about being injury free, because a lot of people don't think about that. They're so focused on building their bodies, and again, the ego lifting, they forget about perfect form or proper form, and worrying about your back, because that's a big deal for something, and especially in your position. I want to talk to you about the documentary series you did, Big and Little, which was
Yes.
huge. How
It
did you
was-
roll into that?
They found me on Instagram, the production company. Unfortunately, the show did not take off. We got to only do 2 episodes, but for 9 months, I trained 2 morbidly obese little people. Just to give you an idea, the girl was an inch shorter than me, so she was 3'10",
wow.
and she weighed 215 pounds. Like, that's like some of the pro guys weigh that.
Correct. Right. Yeah. Right.
I mean, there's a 212 class.
Yeah.
So it's just all of that weight on that frame is like off. Like, she could barely walk when I met her. And then it was a girl and a guy. I trained them for 9 months. The show was, we wanted to leave them in their home environment. So they trained at their homes, gyms, and then I flew to them and was their trainer and guider for the 9 months. The girl lost 60 pounds. And so on the very last day, I had her lift up a 60-pound dumbbell, and she couldn't. And I was like, you were just imagine, because you were carrying that on your frame.
Right. Smart.
And walking around with that.
Yeah.
And like, just even like her skin color changed,
Wow.
her personality. Obviously she got new clothes. It was so amazing to see them both. And then the gentleman, he did well, but he fought me a lot on things. He didn't trust me, I think, because
Like
I'm a
what?
female. Diet. He didn't agree with what I was having him do for diet. Didn't agree with he would cheat and not tell me.
Right.
He was going through some other emotional things as well. And obviously, me being a girl, he questioned a lot of things that I was telling him that he needed to do.
Wow.
Because I don't think he wanted a female telling him that.
You're just trying to help the guy out. Come on now.
I know. And I did. And he told me thank you at the very end, and that he was sorry that he
Well, that
didn't
was
listen
nice.
to me more, because he realized at the end that I really knew what I was talking
Right,
about,
right.
and like willing to help. And so it was great to see them for the 9 months go through it. Unfortunately, it did not get picked up. TLC still airs it every once in a while, so it's really fun to watch. And I get comments. I know it's been aired all over the world, because people will tag me when I'm on the TV, or I have a big Brazilian fan base that I really like secretly didn't know
Wow.
about. And it's awesome, the impact, and that it still impacts people today. But it was sad that it didn't get picked up.
Right.
But maybe there's other opportunities down the road.
I was just going to say, there's greater things in store for you, my dear. You're a beautiful gem full of positivity that inspires many around the world. So you always got to keep your eyes open and grab every opportunity that you can, obviously.
And that is what it is all about.
The important thing, the good thing is that you're doing is you're out in the public. You're at the shows, you're always around, you're always meeting people, you're always making contacts, which is the best way to connect.
It is. And I'm a big relationship person. So, it's the relationships I've met in this industry have been amazing. And, I have some friends that didn't kind of agree with my health and lifestyle change. And that's fine. And I understand that. And if you don't want to support it, I understand that too. But this is the decision I've made. But I have lots of other people. I have more people that outweigh those people. So I continue to grow and be successful. And continue to do more and more things.
Basically, you continue to be kicking ass.
There you
Sorry.
go. Yes.
So let's talk about a few things you started. I know you have a couple of groups that you've started and that you work with. HELP, which is Health and Exercise for Little People. Tell me
Yes.
about this.
So there's an organization, Little People of America. I've been involved with it all my life. It's a great networking organization. It's made, obviously little people, average size people are invited too. Oh my gosh, I should bring you to like a convention. It's amazing.
I would go.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
It's a lot of fun, but it's a great support group and just friendships I've made all over the country throughout the years of LPs. So I had all these people just kept messaging me as I was transforming my body and changing. Like, what are you doing? Like, you look awesome and you're doing it the right way and, not some, let's do this in 30 days kind of
Sure,
thing.
right.
And so I was like, I decided in 2015, I think, I started the group on Facebook. It's called HELP, Health and Exercise for Little People. It's one of the biggest LP sites for support on Facebook.
Wow.
It's pretty awesome. So it's little people and then parents of little people only. And it basically is anything health and fitness related. But like I show my modifications. I show, give ideas on like food plans or some meals. I show, kind of give like little inspiration to them to like get up and get off the couch. And then obviously people ask questions about like, hey, my kid wants to play soccer. What kind of equipment should I buy? Or does anyone have suggestions? And like, so it's just kind of anything health and fitness related. It's an awesome group and I continue to, moderate it and run it and show others. The best part about it is out of it, there's been a handful of people that have made their own transformations. They've all gone to the gym realizing, hey, it's that mindset. Because yes, walking into a gym and seeing all the equipment and not thinking you can even use the equipment is very overwhelming.
Sure.
But when they realize that, hey, if you change, adapt to it, you can, figure it out. So I've had so many people go through their own transformations and lose weight. And they're like, it's because of you. You showed us that we could do it. So it's really heartwarming and it feels good. And it's good for my soul to know that I've helped others kind of indirectly. Then I've had like personal trainers that have little people have hired personal trainers and the trainer's like, I don't know what to do on this exercise. Can you help me? And I'm like, yeah. And so I'm like, what are you trying to accomplish? And I basically will videotape what I would do for that and send it to them to give them ideas. And then once their brain starts working, I think they figure out like, oh, and look at it as a perspective in my eyes versus their eyes.
Sure.
It helps them like come up with their own modifications. But I will say my coach, now that I've been with my same coach for 4 years, T4 Bodies, Enrique Huesquez, and his mind is like, it's crazy. The things that he's come up with. And, I'll admit there's things we've tried and I'm like, that doesn't work. I'm not going to do it. Doesn't feel good on my body. Doesn't feel right. And so we don't do it. But there's just some things that he's come up with that have made my body change and be the way it is, where I am today.
So, in saying that, with you inspiring people and people coming up to you, please share with us your mantra.
My mantra? Oh my gosh. My mantra, I only want to have good days. That's what I always tell myself. And like right now, life is a little crazy. So it's like, I just want to breathe, which I'm breathing. But I just, like I said earlier, my mindset, it's all about adapting, adjusting, defying the odds and overcoming. And
Well,
that's what I do every day.
well, the reason why I bring this up because you in an article, obviously I did some research on you. In an article, you say that dwarfism is not it's not a disability. You don't look at it as a disability.
No, I don't.
No. So that's what I want to go into because you talk about pretty much just doing it, just going out, achieving the goal. Like you don't let anything stop you. Challenge is nothing. So I want to, there's going to be people watching this, obviously, in the Fit Rockstar show. And I want to inspire them because there are people now who are going through some downs and outs who need that push. And hopefully by watching this interview, again, you inspire me. So that's why I was asking about your mantra because you are very inspiring because you don't let anything stop you.
No, I don't. And that's how I've been. And I'm the one to prove to myself that, there's times where I'm not afraid to ask. Like I can't reach sometimes the cable system, the pulley's up high and I'm by myself. I'm like, hey, can you pull this down for me? And I've had people like, no, I'm not going to help you. And I'm like, okay.
Really? You've had somebody say that to you?
Yeah. I had a guy at the gym one time that would not help me. I'm like, I'm not asking you to train me or to do anything. All I want is the pulley to come down.
What was his problem?
I don't know.
You know what I would have did? I would have took my fist and
24-hour fitness. I wanted to sock him.
well, I would have socked him in the gonads.
Right. But
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to ask.
Right. Wow.
And I think it's my personality. I like to talk to people and, I meet friends, I meet people like my gym that I train at, when I train by myself down the street, just got this like 3 little person sauna recently. And so I'm in there and people look and I'm like, you can come in. I'm not going to bite. Like,
Right. Oh, God.
we can share the two seats. Now, three people might be a little close and
Sure.
uncomfortable, but
I still can't get over this guy being rude to you like that.
yeah, it was at a 24-hour fitness. It was like, and he was like walking from one piece of equipment to another. Same thing in grocery store. I hate shopping, and I should do Instacart. I don't, but I just like to pick my own vegetables.
Better when it's in your hand, you can see it and get it.
Yeah.
Right, I get it.
But at the grocery store, most of the stuff I need is on the top shelf. So if I can't reach it, when I get up to the cashier, I just give her the list, and I'm like, I need someone to please go get these items, and they do, and it's typically I don't have that problem. I did have one time I was traveling. This was before I had like TSA pre-check, and my form of dwarfism does fall under ADA rules. So I was running late at the airport, went through the handicap line where the wheelchairs are. And the guy looked at me and he's like, you're not handicapped. You're too fit to be handicapped. And I said, no, you can't question my disability. And his buddy's like, oh, she told you.
Right.
She told you. And then he asked, well, why is your friend with you? Because I had a tall friend with me. I said, because I can't reach the overhead bins. I need assistance. And he's like, oh, okay.
Oh my God. Yeah, what a douche.
Yeah.
Twat waffle.
That's part of it. I'm not scared. I'm not afraid to ask.
What Well, let me ask you this, and then I'll let you go because I know you got to do your training and stuff. What are your goals for the industry? Like, what is your plan? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind, with the sport?
I definitely want to leave a legacy. I want people to know who I am. I want people to remember me. I think I do that well. After every show, sometimes months later, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I saw you at North Americans in Pittsburgh."
You definitely stand out. Yes.
I try to stand out, and I just want to be rememberable, and I obviously want to succeed. My goal is, like you mentioned earlier, I want to become an IFBB pro. That is my goal. That is my ultimate goal. I will one day. It just takes time, and I understand that, and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to get there. This week I've had some really cool, exciting stuff. It hasn't even been officially announced yet. But I just got signed. I just signed with the company for a supplement line, and I'm super excited with the company that I'm aligning with. It's been one of my all-time goals to work with this person, and my dreams have literally come
Oh, that
true this
sounds
week.
huge. Wow.
So I can tell you because I'm going to announce it. This will air later, and I'm going to
Okay.
announce it
Yeah,
today.
yeah. This will air
But
later.
I just
Yeah.
signed with Run Sups, which is Dana Lynn Bailey's supplement line.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yes.
That is
So
huge.
I'm super pumped because obviously I've looked up to her forever. All the girls, everyone does. And she's such an inspiring person to, the sport and showing that women can have muscle and look sexy having muscle. And so I'm really excited.
Dana is a really great ambassador of the sport, and she's hardcore. Talk about she
Hardcore.
loves training, loves being healthy, and funny story about her. She made me cry. I want to say was it one of her goats that got sick or something? One of her animals had got sick. She made this video of her crying. She has
So
such
passionate.
she's so passionate. She has such a kind soul, a one of a kind like yourself. Honestly, listen, I'm going to be real as a friend to a friend. I can totally see you getting your pro card. I'm going to put it out there. I'm just saying, I've never been wrong on this when I see it in people. If you were to, say, next year, later in the year, compete in women's bodybuilding at a national show, I strongly feel, because you do have a very beautiful structure. I've examined, I've studied your physique. You've got a tiny little waist. You do have the beautiful lats, the nice caps, great arms. My favorite shot of you is the front and back bicep shot because it's so powerful in you. It looks great. You've got these massive legs. I mean, you're just well put together. And I strongly feel that next year, again, if you were to go later in the year, if you wanted to, or even early, like USA's or something like that, I feel you can get that.
would probably, that's pretty much kind of the goal we're looking at.
I
for
would
my
love
show
to see you
next
do
year.
it, and I know that you'll get that pro card.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I believe in you, and a lot of others do too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very cool. Well, listen, I'm going to let you sign us off. If there's anything you want to say to your family, your friends, your fans, sponsors.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm glad we were able to finally hook up. We see
Yes.
each other all the time. Like you said, I love being at the expos and shows, and I appreciate all the support from you, from Wings of Strength, from everybody in the industry. So thank you so much. I think all my supporters, my IG family, my new, I've tried to now start a whole TikTok thing. That's a whole, I feel so old for that, but whatever.
Feel so old. Whatever. Come on.
I'm trying to figure it out. But I have a lot of longtime followers that I appreciate the support. And sometimes may not write back on a comment, but I do read all my comments, and thank you so much. And, my friends, my family, everyone, my coach, my team, just everybody that supports me, because like I said, I have an army. Obviously I'm super excited to just join the Run Sups family. And I have a few other companies that I do business with, and they support me, and I appreciate it. And everybody, and thank you so much. You can always find me on AliQDub, on Instagram, TikTok. I don't really Snapchat. I'm too old for that.
I don't know anything about Snapchat. So the handle on TikTok is the same on Instagram?
Yes, AliQDub.
What about a website?
I don't have a website.
What?
I know, I should.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, work on that.
I need to work on that.
Listen, superstar, you should be having a website, okay?
I have a YouTube, but I don't post enough on it. I need to
that's the other thing. We need a documentary on you. We need to see
that is
what your
one
life is about.
social. So YouTube is one of my social platforms that my goal is to work that and get that following.
So let me throw this at you, and I know I said I was going to let you sign off. I lied. A website is so important. Here's why. I strongly feel also, in addition to getting your pro card, which will be very soon, I strongly feel that. I would love to see you, and I say this to you, and I've said this to a few others. You're very well spoken. You have a passion for the sport. You have a passion to help others. You're very kind. You are one of those people that can change the world, right? I'm going to put it out there. So I would love to see you do motivational speaking.
I do love to do that. It's fun.
And if you had a website, you know, showing your stuff and your little YouTube, your Instagram, all these things. It's your calling card, right? It's your business card. So I'm just throwing it out to you as a friend.
Thank you.
Well, listen, honey, thank you so
Thank
much
you
for being
so
on the
much.
Fit Rockstar show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys, till next time, Fit Rockstar and the beautiful Allie Worrell, NPC top national level competitor, signing off.